Welcome to UC Collaboration, a global name in unified communication, formerly Voice Bootcamp. Hi, my name is Faisal Khan, Cisco Voice Instructor at UC Collaborations. In this particular lecture, I'm going to focus on the collaboration endpoints. The 3 or 4 type of collaboration endpoint that you might see in your CCIE collaboration exam. We're going to focus on the Cisco IP Phone 9900 series. You probably will have a 9951. Plus 7900 series, which is from the previous, the old type of phone. Currently, they are probably focusing on 7965. And then we're going to talk about Java client as well as third-party SIP client. Now, you may have a different type of clients requirement depending on the company's requirement. Some users might need a certain type of phone depending on the functionality of the users. For example, if you have executive, you may want to provide them with Cisco IP Phone 9951 with a video camera. An example would be right here. Whereas it has a little built-in camera, well, not built-in, but attachable and detachable camera. And then if you have a normal employee who does a day-to-day operation, maybe administration, you can either get them the low-end phone or the Cisco 7961 or 45. Now, certain users who are mobile and you want to provide them collaboration experience while they're on the road, you can assign them Java client, which is a software-based client that you install on your PC. Call Manager does allow a third-party SIP client, an example X Lite, to be registered as an endpoint. Now, once the third-party SIP phones is registered, their functionalities will be limited to the SIP RFC because Call Manager may not know what kind of SIP device, third-party SIP device that you will use. Now let's quickly talk about how does Cisco phone actually registers or obtain information prior to registering to Call Manager. Now, obviously, Cisco IP Phone has the capability to be powered either directly from the switch using power over Ethernet or directly from the brick AC adapter, which can connect to the electronic outlet on your office. Now, most deployment, you would define you will deploy power over Ethernet switch for the IP phones so that it can get power directly from the switch. When Cisco IP phone obtains the power from the switch using a protocol called CDP, Cisco IP phone will load a locally stored image on the phone, which is known as firmware. Now, this firmware usually is already there in the phone. You can have the options to upgrade, and also sometime when there's incompatibility with the version of the Call Manager the phone is trying to register to, it has the capability to either upgrade itself or downgrade itself. Now, Cisco IP phone will load the locally stored image and then obtain the VLAN information from the switch using CDP, Cisco Discovery Protocol. The phone will then send a DHCP request, receive an IP information and the TFTP address. Now, the TFTP address is very important, along with, of course, IP information. So first of all, the information in the IP, you must have the information about your local subnet that you're going to join, and also the proper default gateway. But what TFTP server tells the phone is which call manager to go and download the configuration file. Now, keep in mind, TFTP server is not the server where the phone will be registered. It could be totally different server. So Cisco IP phone gets the configuration file from the TFTP server. In that configuration file, it contains a list of call manager servers where the phone is capable of registering. In any given configuration file, you can have maximum of 3 call manager server. So the Cisco IP phone has the capability to register to primary call manager. If the primary call manager is not available, then the secondary call manager, and the secondary call manager is not available, the third option is to go to tertiary call manager. Now, obviously, if an IP phone requires more than 3, it doesn't really quite make sense because 3 should be good enough to provide highest redundancy as possible. If the call phones lose connection to all 3 call manager across the WAN, Then you have an optional feature called SRST, Survival Remote Site Telephony. We will talk about SRST later. When the phone talks to call manager or registers, it uses a protocol to communicate with the call manager. There are three types of protocols a Cisco and not necessarily Cisco endpoint can have: Skinny, SIP, and H.323. Now, SCCP, which is a Cisco proprietary protocol, only designed for Cisco IP phone. And with having this proprietary protocol, so when first Cisco introduced IP, phones, they use all Skinny protocol or SCCP. Now, this type of protocol is proprietary, so therefore gives Cisco the enormous option to modify features as they deem seems necessary. So Cisco do not have to get any sort of approval from IEEE or IETF regarding their protocol as to what features should be included or not. So it is possible that some high-end customers might require a particular feature, and Cisco simply create a new firmware based on SCCP, include that new features, and have that firmware available for that customers only. Whereas if this was an open standard, then you have to wait for IEEE or IETF blessing, for example. Some cases even ITU blessings. Now Cisco Call Manager also support a standard SIP phone, which is basically a general IETF standard SIP phone, or H.323 protocol phone. Now either case, if you're going to use standard SIP or standard H.323, make sure it follows the RFC. Now in this type of environment, supported in all standard compliant third-party phone. Now it comes to a little issue here, because not all third-party SIP phone can actually register to call manager. Now SIP third-party SIP phone or H.323 phone can only provide basic telephony features such as making a phone call, holding a call, transfer a call, or call forward. The reason why not all the features are supported is because Cisco call manager does not know what kind of SIP phone that he will use. So obviously it does not know the LCD screen type, the size, what kind of features that phone might have. So therefore only the basic functionalities are included in a third-party SIP phone or H.323. Now if you use a Cisco has a modified SIP image with call manager extension, which only works with Cisco IP phone. Now this type of image basically provide very similar to what SCCP protocol does, the proprietary. Rich set of telephony features that are supported depend on heavily on IP phone model. So again, with a Cisco SIP image, depending on what kind of phone you have, the feature could vary. So for example, 9951 will have a video capability, bigger LCD screen, more colorful, whereas 7961 SIP enabled phone may not have the color LCD screens and may not have the video capabilities. Now third-party endpoint, H.323 endpoint, pretty much could be either Cisco used to have its own IP phone that is supported in H.323, such as 7905 model, which is no longer available. Then you have some of the Sony and Tandberg devices that could be H.323, Microsoft devices such as NetMeeting, which is an H.323. It can be registered with a call manager. Now when you have a third-party SIP phone or H.323, keep few things in mind. It does not use the MAC address to register. It does not support Cisco phone button template. That's because it does not Cisco does not know how many line you will have on that phone. It does not support soft key template because again Cisco have no knowledge about the type of phone you're going to use, how many buttons it has, where does the soft key look like. And that additional features are not supported are IP phone service, assistance, UCM assistance, which is IPMA, video advantage, call pickup, barge, and presence. These features are not available if you're going to use a third-party SIP or H.323. Now to add a third-party SIP client, H.323 client, very straightforward. You go to your call manager, add a new device, and then you simply select the phone type. Regardless of what phone model you have, the phone type is always going to be H.323 client. Now the device name has to be the IP address or the fully qualified domain name of that device. So whatever the phone that you're using, that phone must have an IP address, and that should be the device name in your call manager. So if you're not comfortable using IP address, then you can use fully qualified DNS name to achieve that. Now one thing keep in mind, when you register a third-party SIP phone, the registration status is always going to be unknown because third party is H.223 phone. The registration status is always going to be unknown. Third party SIP phone is supported as long as the RFC 3261 compliant the phone is compliant. It will be supported by call manager. Call manager usually have basic support or advanced support. Basic support will provide one line and consume, well, the DLU concept is no longer there, and advanced support can support up to 8 line and a video. A third-party SIP phone will register with call manager using username and password, not using MAC address. Therefore, it gives you the ability to log in from pretty much any type of soft phone that you have. Configuration is performed in call manager and on the phone itself. Now Cisco 7940 and 69 can be loaded with standard SIP software, which is different from SIP using with Cisco Call Manager extension. Now from a communication manager perspective, these phones look like any other SIP endpoint, even though they are Cisco model. So many third-party SIP phones are available in the market. However, to ensure that the SIP communication is secure, because by nature SIP is a clear text protocol. So if you want to provide a security on it so that at least the communication the message will be encrypted, then you should use digest authentication. To add a third-party SIP phone, you need to simply configure the following steps, where we configure an end user, configure a third-party phone, assign a directory number, associate the directory number to the phone to the user, and then configure the phone itself with the IP address of call manager. Now I will show you how to do that in a live in a lab demonstration shortly. So to add a third-party SIP phone, you simply go to add a new phone and you follow these particular steps, for example. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how to add a third-party SIP phone. First thing we gotta do is under user management, create an end user. Well, first thing you gotta do is log in, of course. So I have created an end user called SIP with a password Cisco, just to give you an example. Then under device menu, go and add a phone, add new phone, and we're going to choose SIP. So here you have the options called third party SIP basic and advanced. So we're going to choose basic to keep life simple. Now for MAC address, you can put any dummy MAC address if you want, not an issue because it does not really use a MAC address. Define a device pool. Phone button template must be selected. And if you go down farther, you'll see called protocol specific information. This is where you select the security profile, you select the SIP profile, and you also select digest user if you're going to do authentication encryption on the messages. Obviously it requires an extension, so let's say 2004 SIP client as alerting name, and then I'm going to go down to the line 1. I'm going to define SIP internal caller ID. These are just a caller ID information, just to show you differentiation. Here I define a mask 14082032004. That is the external phone number mask of that particular phone. So I'll save and then reset. Well, I can reset by going to the device level and then simply say reset. Now the phone is reset. Obviously you gotta open the phone itself, X-Lite, and you can download X-Lite from counterpath.com, and when you go there you can click on account settings. So we can call this corporate CUCM. User ID. In user ID we usually put the extension. Domain name is the IP address of the call manager, because remember, we're not using the username to authenticate, we're using the digest user to authenticate. Password, display phone 4, and authorization name will be SIP, and you can see use domain name to register. So before do that, let me go to the list of phones. This is my SIP and status is unknown. Click OK on this client, and you notice how it gave you saying that account was enabled. It was very quick, fast. And if I come back to this particular page and refresh it, I should see it's registered. See that right there? It's registered. So that means the authentication was successful, the communication is fine. Now obviously I can make a phone call right now. Let me just open up a client that I've already installed, Java. So let's say I want to dial 2003. That is the extension of the Java. Failed to establish. Okay. Alright, let's try another number. So as you can see, the phone is ringing, calling. Okay, so if I dial one of the local numbers, as you can see, it's ringing right now, and we're gonna have to do the further test later to show you the phone. But anyway, the call is working. So somebody on the other hand is entering. Now the reason the call failed is a codec related issue. So right now we're not gonna troubleshoot that. So everything is, we'll troubleshoot the codec part later. So anyway, this is how you register a SIP client. So once the SIP is added, the regular phone can be registered a couple of ways. You can register all the phones using auto registration feature. Auto registration allows you to register large number of phone automatically. One of the disadvantage of auto registration is that you cannot control which phone gets what extension, because you define a range of extension, but that's about it. The call manager will decide which phone gets what extension. Well, they come first serve first base, first come first serve. You can also use a bat tool to add a large number of bulk file. However, for the bat to work, you must create a MAC address, a list of MAC address in the bat file, and then you can also use auto register with a phone tool. Now that is a very scalable and very complex solution using contact center solution. Last but not the least, using a manual configuration. Very similar concept. The way we add the SIP client, the manually, you must do the same thing with a normal manual phone. All you have to do is go to device, add a new phone, choose the phone type, and then of course configure all the parameters such as device name. Now in this case, the device name of a physical phone is going to be the MAC address of the phone itself. Now auto registration process supported by all Cisco IP phone. It only works for existing phone that is phone that are not in the database. Now all the existing phones are not affected by auto registration process. Now auto registration automatically adds phone that are not in the database. Registration directory number are defined in the range where you must configure it at the beginning, and you can use the bat file to make bulk changes after auto registration is completed. You can also use a specific application called auto register phone tool to associate phone with a specific directory number. Now to configure auto registration, you go to the step one is to go to system menu, select Cisco Unified CM, choose the call manager server, choose well, these settings are already there from a previous chapter, and here you define the range of extension. So that's how you register automatically, enable auto registration. Now auto registration by default is forced to use skinny protocol. If you need to change that to SIP, you gotta go to the enterprise parameter and then select SIP. So I can go to enterprise parameter and I can choose that use SIP as my auto registration protocol. Now obviously I'm not going to make that change. Now you can also use a BAT file, BAT to register IP phone. Now BAT of course requires you to create a CSV file with the proper settings and then upload that file to the call manager server. So I'm going to walk you through a process of registering a BAT. Verify that first of all you need to make sure that the bulk provisioning service is running. Then you must download the BAT template from call manager, create a CSV file, data input file. You want to upload this file, validate, and then of course insert the phone. So once you do all this, you can verify the phone insertions as far as to ensure the phones are registered properly. So to use BAT, we want to go to bulk admin. So under in call manager bulk admin, click on download, upload and download, and there you'll find a BAT file called bat.xlt. You want to download that file to your PC and then open that particular file using Microsoft Excel, for example. Oops. The file will look something similar to this. You're gonna have to use this particular file, for example, to customize your BAT file. Now unfortunately I'm running a 64-bit machine, so therefore it's not going to work on mine. As you notice, this is the error you'll get. But if you have a 32-bit machine, then you should be able to open this file without any problem. So let me just kill this. Now I do have a file uploaded. I'm going to upload a file. So I have a CSV file that is created. And it's right here called BAT user. And this is what the file looks like. So I have MAC address, description, directory number. MAC address I'm kept it empty with my name, extension, second person's name, extension. So we're going to use the MAC address as empty so that we can use dummy MAC address later. So in call manager, I'm going to upload this file. This is going to be phone with this insert specific details, not all the details. Once that part is done, now I'm going to create a phone template. And this template is going to be based on the type of phone I'm trying to add. So let's assume I'm going to add 7961. So I'm going to call this, let's say, BAT template 7961, device pool HQ. Obviously you need to select all the necessary parameters. . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . and save. Now when you add a phone template, you must define line 1 at least, because in a text file we have only one line. So you need to define at least one line here. So this is how it looks like. Oops, forgot to add the line. And this is how it looks like. Alright, once the template is there, next thing is to do is validate the file format. You can create a new file format, for example, something very simple, bat file. What we need is device name, which we have MAC address, description, the name, and the directory number. That's all we are going to create as a file format. Oh, and how many lines? So let's say one line. Maximum number of line you need, one. So once the file format is created, we're going to validate that text file that we just uploaded, validate phones, against this file format. This is the text file that we have uploaded, and this is the phone template we're going to use, and then click on submit. And you can see the schedule for the bat to see if there is any error in the file. So you can go job scheduler, and I believe this was the last one. So far success, to process. Alright, so 2 entry was there in the file and they were successful. Next thing is very simple. Go to bulk, insert phone, select the file, select the template, and we're going to say create dummy MAC address. Now one thing we gotta do is go to the job scheduler, and you notice this job is on hold. We're gonna select this and then say activate selected job, so that way it can start the process. So this must be done in order to add a large number of phone, for example. So it will continue to try the processing, and you notice it's completed. So if I click on this particular file, it will tell me that 2 entry has been successful. And I can validate that by going to device menu, go to phone, and I will have 2 bat file added there. So all I have to do right now is go to that particular bat file and click on is active. So when the phone is ready to register. Alright, so this is how you would use bat file to register phone. Registering phone manually is very straightforward. Go to device, phone, select the phone type, very similar to what we just did for SIP. Then we define the MAC address of the phone. The protocol is going to be skinny. On the left hand side, click on line 1 to assign extension, and here you define line, what the extension of that particular phone is going to be. Under line 1 on that particular device, you can set some caller ID details, as you can see right here, and external phone number mask. An example would be, let's say I'll show you this particular phone, HQ phone 1. This is the MAC address. You go to line 1, and here is your extension. This is your alerting name, caller ID. If you go down below where it says line 1, this is where all the details for that particular line. Oops. Right, so once you save that information, you can reset the phone and those settings will be available. Java, which is a Cisco software based client, can be used to collaborate anytime, anywhere. It's a streamlined communication and enhanced productivity. by integrating presence, instant messaging, desktop sharing, audio, video, web conference into a single client. So it helps you communicate and work better with your colleague and partners, for example. Reduce the communication delay by providing presence information so you can see when your colleagues are available. And it can be used as either instant messaging or call control device. To add a Java to call manager without presence, we must add a new phone, and the phone type is going to be client's service framework. When we click next, we define the device name of that particular phone type. The device name has to be CSF followed by the username. I assume the username is Java. The device name is going to be Charlie CSF Java. You must define the phone button template, security profile, and most important part is a digest user. So important thing is a digest user, because digest user is the username that we're going to use to log in. Once that is done, define the extension for that phone by clicking line 1 and all the necessary caller ID settings. Install the application, open, go to the settings right here, define the call manager selection and the IP address of your call manager. Once that is done, enter the username and password, log in, and this is what a client will look like. So Java client pretty much looks like a very simple SIP client, but with a lot more functionalities. So to add it, I'll go to device. First of all, I have an end user account called Java. Add a device phone, and the phone type is going to be CSF client. It's called framework, Cisco Unified Client Service Framework. Click next. Device name CSF, Java, HQ device pool, and all the necessary settings that you need. Digest user is very important, Java. Click OK. On the left hand side, you're going to click on line 1, and here you're going to define the extension 2003 and any other parameters. I'm just going to keep it short. Save. As you notice right there. Alright, so now that the client is there, we're going to open the application. Application is right here, so I'm going to exit. Java, where it says manual setup, click on there, select Cisco Unified Communication Manager, choose the following servers, define the IP address of your call manager, log in as Java, password Cisco, sign in. It might give you a certificate error, but that's fine, you can accept it. You can log in, and you notice now you can dial the extension, let's say 1001. If I select that extension, click on dial, and the phone is ringing. You can initiate a video conference as well as web conference as well. From here you can communicate with WebEx, but that must be configured as well. Alright, so at the end of the day, IP phone can be registered manually using a BAT tools for bulk admin. You can also use auto registration. Java client on Windows can be installed as a soft phone, and Java will support video if the laptop has a camera. So this is it for this particular modules, and I will see you in the next one.